All right, we have the barriers method. It's an acronym. So the first set is about the cognitive barriers. So let's say I have an idea in my mind that I can say, well, I can't charge more in my area. That belief is based on an assumption. And the assumption is that my patients are price sensitive. And if I charge more, they'll leave. And I tell myself, on the basis of this assumption, I tell myself this story that, if people leave me, I'll feel embarrassed. And maybe the principal dentist will say to me, like, you're not really a good associate dentist, you don't retain patients. And so it's this story of doom thinking or doomsday thinking. And it's all about a catastrophe. Everything will go wrong if I just raise my fees by 10%. It's a story we tell ourselves. Then, of course, there are the behavioral consequences. And what we then start to do is we don't have fee discussions, or we start discounting our fees. Discounting fees, the basics of it is never discount fees, ever in your life. Never give a single discount. Well, you want a discount for family members, fine, go ahead, right? But for your regular patients, no need to give discounts. I never gave a discount. And, patients make a decision whether they want your, service or they want to seek the help of someone else. And by setting a high fee, you're excluding people. By setting a low fee, you're excluding people. Not everyone goes to a Lidl or an Aldi, and not everyone goes to a Waitrose. You are a business. So the sooner you recognize that by setting your fees at a certain level, you're already excluding patients. The question really is not about, am I excluding patients? No, which patients do I want to exclude, right? And maybe you're a very budget-friendly practice. Great. We actually will talk about this for practice owners during the event in September, where we have a 3-day event for practice owners, and we will highlight pricing strategies for practice owners. And there's no right or wrong, right? You can have a very budget-friendly strategy, low cost, where you have to design your practice operations around that, right? You can't have the luxury of, taking the time and treatment coordinator, and it comes with a package. Your strategic decisions. And then finally, how do we restructure strategically, right? So what data contradicts the belief that I hold? Maybe patients haven't left, right? Maybe actually patients are recommending other friends and family to me because they're very happy. So that evidence, and you need to build an evidence ledger to see that actually what is happening on the basis of me abandoning the belief and abandoning the behavior that I was showing. And I start replacing my beliefs with patients pay for value. And by the way, you can do this for any barrier, right? So next step, you can increase, or you can decide to leave your crown fee, whatever you want. It's your business, right? I'm not going to tell you you have to increase. You make a change, let's say, and you monitor what does this do, right? And be driven by data, not one single patient out of 1,000 being very loud and being very dissatisfied, pushing you into a corner and making you doubt the decision that you made. So patient hesitates, you think I'm overcharging, you start feeling guilty or anxious, and you rush into discounting and abandoning the whole idea of charging a certain fee to patients. And what that does is you get stuck. You're still stuck at 10K a month. And I don't want to call it stuck. Maybe being stuck is a bit harsh.